Hello and welcome to Week in Review, where I stumble through the last week's video game news and occasionally make a salient point. We also have some new releases to highlight, and potentially some freebies to claim from the wider gaming world. Without further ado, let's jump into the latest stories. News. Okay, first story of this new week, brand new week. Microsoft taking down their percentage of their cut of games sold on the Windows Store from 30% to 12%. Now, it seems like kind of a big deal. They're following the Epic formula, basically. That's what the Epic Store was big on, is that they're giving more money to developers. Their cut is also 12%, and that's better for developers and the industry and all that, blah, blah, blah. The only, I mean, it's great and all, but like the Microsoft Store, the amount of sales on the Microsoft Store is pretty minuscule as far as I'm aware of because it sucks. And anybody who's really interacting with the Microsoft Store on PC is probably doing so through PC Game Pass and not really buying games. I don't think I've ever bought a game from the Microsoft Store. I have some games that are cross-buy from Xbox, and I use Game Pass PC, but I've never actually bought a game from the Microsoft Store. And I think that that's the experience with most people still. They are making moves to be a bigger presence on the PC, and their Game Pass, like Xbox PC Game Pass app, is not the best, but it's a big improvement over what they used to have, and it's usable for the most part, which is already an improvement. So, yeah, I think this is just an incentive on Microsoft's part to say, hey, we're in the PC gaming market for real. Again, they've tried many times over the last 15 years or whatever to establish themselves as a big player in the PC gaming market, and they haven't really. But it feels a bit different this time. Like maybe they're really going to try. Hopefully, they're also promising some more improvements to their store, which hopefully becomes a thing because there's a big argument in the PC gaming world about the percentages of cut for games sold and how Steam takes 30%, which is the same as console like Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. They all take 30% on digital sales. And people say, "Hey, Steam shouldn't take 30%. It's not fair." But the argument falls flat for me when you consider the fact that Steam is a PC store and there are other PC stores that you can buy games from. You don't have to buy from Steam. You can buy from anywhere and play on the same computer. It's not the same with console manufacturers. The reason Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo can charge 30% is because it's their exclusive hardware that you have to buy, and oftentimes they take losses on the hardware and make it up with software sales. Steam is just on PC. There's no hardware cost for Steam, so you could say, hey, 30%'s too much, and I might agree. But there are alternatives like the Microsoft Store if you want to try it that way. Problem is, of course, that let's say 90% of PC gamers probably focus mainly on Steam, and the other stores are like peripheral or not in their wheelhouse at all. I'm that way. Everybody I know is that way. If you're gonna get something, you'll probably buy it on Steam first, and maybe you'll deal with another store if you have to. Like you'll buy an Epic Store exclusive if you really want it, but most of the time, no. You're just gonna buy it from Steam because Steam is just a better experience overall, and they always make it better, and they've made it better over time, and they're introducing new things all the time. It's an interesting platform, and I think that there is value in that they deserve a cut of the money that's probably more than Epic or Microsoft would deserve, considering the state of their stores. The Epic Game Store is pretty bare bones. I mean, it works, but it's bare bones. You just buy stuff there. There's not really anything to do. You know, Steam has their whole community features, and Epic has achievements, but they're not integrated well, and trading cards on Steam and Marketplace and all that stuff. There's just more to it. So, hey, I don't know. It's a hard debate. I guess if you're a game developer, it's probably a completely different story. But for me, this is just a thing in the background. But I thought I'd bring it up because it could potentially be a big deal for game developers, and maybe we'll get more games on the PC Microsoft Store, and that's a good thing. All right, now we'll move on to a not good thing, a not feel-good story, something that you could not... I don't think anybody would take away any positive vibes from this. We have the scathing headline from Bloomberg. Cyberpunk managers still win big bonuses after shoddy game launch. Fair enough. I'd suggest you read the story. It's interesting, but the gist of it is that most employees who worked at CD Projekt Red, they were kind of counting on or expecting larger bonuses than they got for Cyberpunk. And a lot of the blame is being pushed on management for the way the game came out, and that the game should have been delayed, but management didn't want that to happen. It's a big clusterfuck. I mean, the blame can go around in circles, but in the end, it always goes back to the top, which is the board. And of course, when the bonuses came around for Cyberpunk this time, let me see if I can find the numbers. I don't want to share this whole story. I want you guys to read it. But essentially, the gist is there was millions of dollars in bonuses. I believe it was about 28 million. Let's see. Oh, here we go. 29.8 million went to 865 employees for an average of 34,000 each. In contrast, just 5 of CD Projekt's board members received bonuses totaling 28 million. So the 5 board members of CD Projekt Red split up 28 million, while the rest of the company, all 865 employees, split up 29.8 million. Now you could argue that, hey, $34,000 average, which it says right here, employees were getting between 5 and 20,000, is a big deal. But CD Projekt Red releases like one game every 5 years. This is somebody working on this game for 6 or 7 years potentially, and then getting shit on. And after all that they probably already went through trying to get Cyberpunk up and running and were shafted by management already. So it's just another story of the greed and horrible corporate money grubbing tactics that go about in every industry, but especially in the game industry. Or maybe it's just I pay more attention to the gaming industry. But just terrible. These bonuses are something that I think, I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, I don't run the company, but it just seems weird when you're splitting up the millions that the 5 people at the top who essentially are responsible for the botched Cyberpunk launch get all the money, and then the rest of the people get nothing. But hey, I guess that's just reality. That's the world, and it'll never change, and I'm a cynical asshole. So, cool. That story segues nicely into this story from Wowhead, which I've never heard of until now, but maybe if you play WoW, it's a thing. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick cut salary and bonus by 50%. My commentary on this is that nobody should give a fuck about this. Bobby Kotick is a rich asshole, and him getting his salary cut from 1.75 million to 875,000 per year with that's just his salary, not his bonuses, is a move that makes zero difference probably to his bottom line. I mean, you could say, it's a lot of money. It's $800,000 is a lot of money, sure, to me and you, but to him, it's nothing. So it's just a fucking PR move to make people like him. Just like when he was in Moneyball, which is a great movie, but why was he in that movie? Because he wanted to look good, I guess. Anyway, let's move on to the new releases. New releases. Alright, on to the new releases for this previous week. Total War, we have Total War Rome Remastered, came out on April 29th. Early impressions were good, but apparently reviews are mixed, 68%. I guess if you're a Rome Total War fan, this long review right here will probably tell you everything you need to know. I have no idea about the game. I just heard it was good, and now I hear it's mixed. So what can I say? Next up, we have Returnal, which came out yesterday, Friday, the 30th. And impressions are all good. Reviews are very good. Everybody seems to be raving about it. Seems like a solid roguelite if you're into that kind of thing. I was a big Hades fan. Not generally a rogue person. I really loved Hades and I loved Void Bastards. I I'm tempted to give this a shot because I do have a PS5, but not for $70. Maybe down the line after I'm sure it'll get many updates and all that good stuff and DLC and everything, and then I'll pick it up for $30 and that'll be fun. Next up we have Pokemon Snap, which again came out yesterday, Friday the 30th. Tempting, very tempting. I have some memories of Pokemon Snap on the N64, but not $60 tempting. I like the concept, and of course, since it's a Nintendo game, it'll never go on sale. Maybe you could get it for $40 potentially in a year if you're lucky. But of course, it's Pokemon, so you already knew if you were going to get this. Now let's move on to what is coming out next week. And really, there's only one game that matters that's coming out next week, and that is Resident Evil Village, which for all intents and purposes seems like it's going to be amazing. The demos were good. Both demos were good. There is another demo today at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time if you're interested. I'm going to check it out and see what my Steam or what my PC settings are going to be, but everything looks good. It looks like a modern first-person version of Resident Evil 4, and I think it's probably my most. It would be my most anticipated game of the year for sure, if it wasn't for the fact that Mass Effect Trilogy comes out the next week. But that's nothing can beat Mass Effect. So yes, this is what you want next week if you're looking for a game to get. It's Resident Evil Village or nothing really. There's a couple of indie games coming out, but nothing major. So this is it. Freebies. Not the best freebies this week. Epic Game Store disappointing with possibly the worst thing they've ever given away, which is $100 value in this free-to-play Dungeons and Dragons game. So 99% of everybody will not claim this because you have to actually like launch the game and sign in and stuff. I would still claim it if I could just claim it, but you actually have to like make an account and sign in and like claim it in the game. So fuck it. But yeah, there it is. If you happen to play this free-to-play Dungeons and Dragons game, that's fun. On GOG, by the time this video goes up, you'll have about 23 hours left. So most of the rest of the day on Saturday and into a little bit of Sunday to get Tonight We Riot for free. Again, a game I've never heard of, but at least it's a game. And it's free. And lastly, we still have the same freebie, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, which will be available, I believe, until May 14th. So I'm just going to keep reminding everybody to get this for free while you can, because this is a great game, and it's free. And everything's better when it's free. So you can take this great game and get it for free, then it's even better. So get it. Dun 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 dun. Wrap up. Here we are back in the wrap up section, which I don't know what to do with, and we're gonna play another GIF, a more recent GIF of me eating a Twinkie. Definitely nothing weird about this GIF. Just getting, just trying to taste it. But some people decided that it was GIF worthy. I don't know why. I believe this GIF was made by Mr. Bagel, PhD. I guess he's some kind of doctor or physics professor, whatever. Not sure what PhD stands for. That's a post honorary doctorate? Whatever, he's a PhD, so he's obviously important. And then we have this other alternate version made by just simply Bill. We're not gonna go into who he is, but we know his name is Bill, maybe. And he decided to make this version with this nice filter on it, just so people can have something to watch. So Thank you. Shout out to Dr. Bagel and Bill. Great work, guys. Keep it up so I have something to talk about in the wrap up next time because they'll have no idea what I'm doing. That's the end of this week's show. Please leave any questions, comments, or feedback in the comments box below so I can obsess about them while I try to sleep at night. Thanks for watching.